And the digital tool editor and publisher of Talking Points Memo, Josh Marshall. Good to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
All right, explain.
So TPM, the website that I run, is one of the three big poll aggregators. We run PollTracker. Standard thing, you put all the polls together, you get averages. We're the only one who has a mobile app that sends you live notifications when there's a new poll in the race, any race that you're following.
This is really unfortunate.
Well,
I'm just going to tell you right now.
It's if you have an addiction like you do, Joe, to polling, if you're a polling junkie, you need to have this, because if you're really into politics, it's not enough to find out about the new poll at dinner. You need it to zap you on your mobile phone.
This will be the only app on your home screen soon.
Yeah,
just that. Just
I did
one
it 4
app.
years ago and loved it. Told Josh it was fantastic. What changes 4 years later are we going to see?
Well, we have totally redesigned with new bells and whistles, better stuff. But the big thing is, again, notifications. You got to know. You can go. It's available on your iPhone or your Android device. You go to either of the app stores and search for PollTracker. You can download it. It's free. And again, you know, if you are a polling junkie, it is not enough.
This is massive.
What's that?
This is massive.
Yeah, I mean,
it will change the world.
It's not enough to see it when you get back to work. You need it when you're in the elevator. You need to find out when the new presidential poll is out.
First the iPod.
Really don't, but okay.
Let's go to, I think, first Gutenberg, then the iPod, now Josh.
Yeah.
All right, Josh.
Yeah. All right,
so,
Josh,
Josh, we were talking before about Elizabeth Warren, what a jolt that she's added to Hillary Clinton's campaign. Does she seem like the smart choice for the #2 pick?
I think she does to me. You know, when they had that event, it's not just that everybody knows that Warren brings a lot of energy, but the thing that really clinched it in my mind is when you see them on stage together, Hillary Clinton has more energy. So there's something that she brings out of Clinton that's really very electric. And, you know, Clinton's big advantage so far in this race is that she's not Donald Trump. She's not the one who's, like, you know, high-fiving after, you know, saying he's right after a terrorist.
Why is this race so close in a lot of the swing states?
You know, I think it's the polarization of parties in the country. When you see how many, something like 2/3 of the electorate think that Donald Trump is just not qualified at all to be president, and yet he's within 5 points in the horse race. I think that's just an example. The country is so polarized between Democrats and Republicans that a Republican kind of can't get below the low 40s. It just can't happen. And Trump is almost, you know, the ultimate proof of that, since a clear majority thinks he's not even qualified, and yet a lot of those people are supporting him.
So here's a question. Seems to me there's like a theological, almost ideological dispute over whether we should be paying attention to national polls or state polls at this point. There are people who look and say, forget about the national polls. This is one state by state. Others say, you know, the state by state polls kind of lag the national polls. If you see a trend in the national polls, ultimately the battleground state polls will catch up. In what camp are you?
I think at this point it makes sense to watch the national polls for the reason there's not as much density of polling in the states. So, like in a state like Pennsylvania, there's, like, you know, a handful over the last few months. You can't draw that much. So if you're looking for trends, you see it more in the national polls. I mean, obviously it really is, you know, won or lost in the states. I think at this point you need to watch both, but if you're looking for trends, there's not enough polling yet in the states to kind of see the trends if they're popping up.
Josh Marshall, thank you very much, and we'll be right back.
PollTracker, actually, I just have to say this.